Hello, okay. I'll get it started. This is apparently audience participation, so just come on up and get in line. I'm Don McVillo. I'm at Hofstra University down in the New York City area, and I want to show you something we did with the current index of legal periodicals. Most of you probably get the paper subscription at your institution.
Where are you?
What I had written is a macros in Microsoft Word and then a Perl script, and what it does is takes the paper copy of the CILP and turns it into an HTML document. And the other nice thing is it puts in links to Lexis and Westlaw. So if this is working, your faculty member would see a site. Let's say they want to read the article. They just click on it. And since Lexis is a shorter password, it should immediately...
Try again later.
Well, okay, assuming it's working, that article would immediately come up on the screen. So the faculty member could then print it off and add that printer. So you don't have to go through the circulation department or your document delivery department for them to get a copy of the article. I'm sitting over there if anyone wants to know how this is done or gets the scripts for it.
My name is Mitch Davis. I'm with Stanford Law School. And let's see if this works here. Yeah, securities.stanford.edu. This is a site where we track all securities litigation documents, things like that. We keep track of news and information also. So if you go to the case index, or let's go over to filings. It's all done in Perl. It's a Perl database that we did, and it takes a second because there's quite a few cases up there. So you can go to any case that's going on right now, or where's the scroll? Oh, there we go. It's going to look for. And you can get see if there's something going on with them. All documents, any attorneys that are involved in the case are in here. They're updated daily. You can get articles and papers that are associated, with that. Let's see now, case index, decisions. See if we can do that again. We can go to like 3Com Corporation 99, scroll down to give you an idea of what kind of content is just on one site. That's not right. Why did that come there? Just cases and information. The arbitration stuff and all, they're trying to incorporate that in a for-profit site. I'm just trying to see if I can find one that has some more stuff on it. There's a little bit more case stuff. No, it's just firms. Huh. And what they're going to do is that they're collecting all this data. I wonder whether there's that. Okay. I'm looking for a 3Com one because that probably has the most on there. 3Com, California, Amplifier, 111. I'm just looking for one that's on here. Anyway, they're collecting all this data. They're collecting all of the information that's coming up as far as settlements. And then what they want to do is they want to get the settlement costs for different cases and create a search index that we're using called Discovery with IBM. And IBM does a sort of a searches on the cases, on the content of the information, and then we'll compare cases with other cases that are being tried, and then give them an estimation as to how much that case might settle for. And that's a for-profit part that's being developed right now. Yeah.
Are there any access restrictions? Can anyone in the world get this? Or
anybody can get this. The only one would be the restriction would be the for-profit part, and that's not done yet.
Okay. Can I ask generally presenters to say if they're showing something that's available only on campus?
Only on campus?
Then you can't show it.
Well, they might have a password.
Oh,
you mean you want something like the judicial clerkship database or something like
that?
that?
No, I just want to know what is generally available and what's not. Like that CILP, I didn't catch whether that was
Well, we have, I don't think I have the password right now, but we have a judicial clerkship database that allows students to go in. They can pick their judges like Amazon.com. They pick the ones they want to send letters to, and then they add in the email addresses for the people who have to write the letters. And it sends them a merge file to their Word document so they can send out all their letters. And that's just one of the features and stuff that we have. We probably have 6 or 7 different things like that to support student ability to apply for judicial clerkships. And since we've instituted that, we had the highest number of students that received judicial clerkships this year. And that database, if anybody wants it, we will go ahead and give it to you. All you have to do is say, I'd like your judicial clerkship database. It's just a Perl script. We'll send it to you. And you can fill it out yourself, or we'll send it to you completely populated for a fee. Thank you.
Cool. Next.
What I see is what you get. Is that the way it works here? Okay. So let's see. This doesn't move that very far. Why don't I sit? Thank you. Great idea. My name's Carl Mannheim. I teach communications law at Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. This is my course webpage. And we've more or less standardized the look of course web pages at the school. So this uses frames. The top banner is consistent for all the courses, obviously with the course name changing. And the left side is a navigation menu. And let's see. Here's a mouse that works. So for instance, putting up the syllabus, I've begun to put them up in different formats for students. They can either download it as a text, as a document, a Word file. They can read it in text, HTML, or what I have found to have the best presentation is PDF. So I've been saving almost all of my documents in Adobe Acrobat and then posting them on the web. And the interactive, the hyperlinks remain. They should remain active, although they don't appear to be here. I don't know why. But so that's the syllabus. And the other thing that I thought I would show you is the materials that I make available for the students on the web. I have found it much more productive to distribute course materials over the web than trying to do the handouts and supplemental handouts and secondary and tertiary handouts as students lose them throughout the course of the year. So everything goes on the website and the students print it out as they need it. I do all my classes using PowerPoint slides, and I archive those slides for them on the web. So for instance, here is a slideshow on Introduction to Broadcast Regulation, and the students can work through it as an HTML file. In other words, it would just simply show up through the browser and navigate that way. Or what they can do, and which I encourage them to do, is to download the source file, the actual PPT file itself, and put that into their laptop before they come to class. That way they can annotate as they go along. And so my lectures pretty much follow the slides throughout the course of throughout any particular class. The other thing I do that's worth showing to you is we videotape every class in my course, and I'm the only one that does this so far. I'm not sure it's wise because I don't know the subject matter all that well, but and now anybody can see it. But we do videotape it and archive it so that students can come back and both watch and listen to a class they may have missed, or they want to hear the jokes a second time. And presuming this works, we might even see something. There we go. Let me move through it a little bit. The compiler usually starts a few minutes before class and ends a few minutes after class, and sometimes there's no audio at the very beginning. student audience will still do it. So your question's a real good one. Does media concentration lead to actually more programming by the class? Okay, so I don't know the answer to that, but I have a student who sits in the front row with a remote controller for the camera, and this was it was not really a great. It didn't work out as well as we had expected. He's got some presets on the camera. It's not voice follows or video follows voice as it probably should be. What he's focusing on right now is a smartboard. We use the smartboard in many of our classes where we project our images. And for those of you who haven't seen a smartboard, it's probably the neatest thing since sliced bread. It turns out to be a large computer touchscreen. The image gets displayed on the board. It's a whiteboard, an electronic whiteboard, and you can control your computer images by simply touching the board with your fingers. And you can also draw on it with dry erase markers. And those annotations during the class can either be saved as part of a PowerPoint presentation, embedded right into the PowerPoint file, saved in a separate graphic format, and then made available. I make them available on the web. So I'll give you. Here's a student asking a question using an omnidirectional mic in the classroom to pick up the sound. It's not all that great.
Would you say that access to the internet?
All right, so you don't want to learn about telecom. But let's see, Smartboard. So I do have a few archives of Smartboard. No, they're not found. One of the things that we've been doing, which has been driving me crazy, is that we reconfigure our website, the school's website, every semester. We move all the course content from a current directory into an archive directory because, in answer to your question, all of our courses are password protected. My two courses are not, simply because I've demanded that they be accessible to the outside world. But everyone else's courses, to the extent that they're on websites, the students have to have a password, username and password to get in, and that changes on a semester-by-semester basis. That administrative overhead just drives me crazy. I don't have anything to do with it. So anyway, that's what I've been doing with my website.
Excuse me. If you have everything on the web, don't you think some of the students might stay home?
Yes. In fact, some of these classes, the individual classes, are webcast live as an experiment to see what would happen with attendance. And I've actually not noticed any drop-off in attendance. The students I'll have one or two students maybe in a class attend remotely, and it's usually because they have a sick child, or they're just unable to get in to school because there's a traffic accident or something. But I haven't noticed any drop-off in attendance, and students haven't abused that as of yet. Obviously, the potential's there. To look at this video, since this is video, you need to really have broadband connection. All right, so most students can't do this from home. Some do it from their office. This is an evening class, and so a lot of the students have access to broadband at law offices, and others do it from the library. They sit in the library. I've had students actually sit in the library and take the class, more on an experimental basis for them as well as for me. So, but that's a danger. I mean, that's a risk, but it hasn't materialized yet. I know some of the faculty are reluctant to do that. We almost began a policy this summer of digitally recording every class and making it available to students, but there was some revolt on that, so that did not happen.
Yeah, what was the revolt?
Well, the policy was, may have been a sound policy, but it wasn't implemented properly, and so the faculty wasn't consulted, and so that was the revolt.
Yeah.
So that's obviously something that will have to require faculty input, and it ought to be done on an instructor-by-instructor basis rather than across the board. I do record all of my classes. This class is in a room with a camera and a smartboard, and so it's video recorded. Another class that I have doesn't have a camera in that room, so it's only audio recorded. But students typically don't abuse that. They haven't been, but they may start. And then we might have to change our policies.
We actually did a pilot project with the tax class last year, and we lost 50% of the students dropped out. And their test scores almost went down according to the faculty
I make attendance mandatory in these classes.
And none of our attendance.
Oops, spells it wrong. Thanks, Carl. So come on, get in line. Everybody's got to have at least one good website they like. I love this website, of course. With my favorite part of this website being, let me think here. This session. Let's see if we can bring it up. Yes. Yeah, upgrade to Realcom. I hate that sometimes. Right. Actually, I had an ulterior motive for going here to the CALI website, and that's because we've done a lot of reorganization, and this is where you would start to find, as soon as we get the materials, encoded, this is where you will find the materials for this conference on our website. But we did a lot of reorganization of everything we had in the past. So you can see whatever we were able to save from previous conferences from 2000 back to 1995. I don't think videotape was invented before 1995. Or actually, we weren't videotaping the conferences. So even though if you missed some of the sessions at this conference this time, you should be able to view them later. All right? Let me show you two other quick websites. Go to I found this one to be really valuable recently. Unfortunately, can't actually demonstrate it to you, but it's Go to My PC is a website that basically is like PC Anywhere, except you don't have to have. It's less complicated and less expensive than PC Anywhere. It's like a subscription-based PC Anywhere. So I often forget to copy stuff off of my local drive or the network that's in my home computers. But if I leave one of my machines up with Go to My PC, which is just a little sort of applet or sort of thing, then I can, from work, I can then go to here. There's a double password, a password to log into here, then a password to log into my PC, and then I can basically control that remotely, just like PC Anywhere works.
But John, isn't that about $10 a month?
$20 a month. It's kind of ridiculous. I hope they lower the price. Or there's one-shot deals. They have a whole step sort of thing, but it works really well if you've got DSL, which I've got at home, or broadband access. I don't know. I found that to be pretty cool.
John?
Yeah.
I followed in VNC.
Sorry?
VNC, which is a remote control program.
Yeah.
You can bring with your voltage and
It's probably free too.
yeah.
Yeah, I should use that instead then, right?
What was the name of that?
VNC. It's a video made in Newman, Cambridge. You can download it on VNC.
I think AT&T has bought that one.
So you run it as massive on the Windows computer. If you want access, and you just bring the
It doesn't have very good encryption now.
start program and connect.
It doesn't have very good encryption. Everything's blocked for text.
That's why I shouldn't start it up with SSH. So then it's encrypted.
All right, the other website I wanted to show you was technoids.net. Technoids.net was invented to fill the space between these yearly conferences and the daily Technoids discussion list. What we want to do with Technoids.net is capture intelligence or things that go by sort of on Technoids and maybe even sort of add some value to them. One of the things that Elmer is working on, last week people were talking about what they do to accommodate blind students or disabled students. And it seemed like there was 2 or 3 people that had a lot of nice information. And you just know that every 8 months that question is going to come up. And unless those same people are listening and say, well, here's all my information again, it sort of gets lost. Now they can search the archives here, but what I'm going to do with Elmer, who's sort of the webmaster here, is say, as things go by like that, we're going to say, hey, would you stop for a moment and create a little sort of archive of links to what you've done and maybe a little write-up of the best thinking in this? And we want to develop a series of white papers that are gathered from the Technoid community and post them on this website. We want this to be your community website for exactly those types of things that just aren't stored or aren't captured anywhere else. All right. For most of the things, you do have to register, but it's free. You use your email address as your login name and so on. There's chats and forums and things like that are not intended to replace Technoids, but that we're still trying to feel out how those best work, because everybody's so busy. It's like you don't need another mailing list to join or something like that. But this is literally just launched in the last few months with some semi-serious content, but soon we'll have a lot more. I hope you come back and visit often. All right. Other cool websites? Come on, everybody's got at least one cool website that they've been to.
Do they have to be law related?
No, they could be. I couldn't figure out what the name of. Actually, Jeopardy.com is one of my favorites. Here we go. Do you want me to type while you talk?
Yeah. Corporate. Yeah. No, you don't need that. Corporate hyphen. No. Corporate hyphen.
All right.
Law. Widener. WIDENER.edu. I'm working and everything. Okay, does everybody hear me? I'm not used to wearing a mic. I always feel like I'm going to be Gene Hagen and Singing in the Rain, and you're going to pick up my heartbeat. I'm Janet Lindemuth from Widener Law School. We do a website for the Delaware Court of Chancery. In case you don't know about the Delaware Court of Chancery, they're about the premier court for corporate law in the U.S. Most of the major corporations are incorporated in Chancery Court. What we have available on our website are complaints, briefs, and opinions in all of the corporate cases that are filed with the Chancery Court. And we do this sort of in conjunction with a commercial site, which makes all documents available. They send us a selection, and we just pick out the corporate ones. And let's see if I can manage to do this upside down.
You got Tyson and IDP?
Yes, I can show you. If that's what I was going to do as a demo. The big case out now is Tyson v. IBP. And we just have a search engine. You can search by all documents, which is what I'm going to do, but you can also, there's a drop down, you can pick out just briefs, just complaints, just opinions. If I just type IBP and hit search, no, we don't want that. It will give us every case that has IBP in it, so you get the complaints. There's always a lot of complaints because they file a whole bunch of them and then it gets consolidated. But we don't have the opinion yet. It just came out and we don't have it. I wish we could be a little faster in those things, but like I said, we get them from a commercial service who actually has a scanner down in the courthouse, and they take the paper copies from the registrar's office and scan them in to PDF format, and then they FTP them to us. And they do take 2 or 3 weeks sometimes to do it. They're a little bit behind. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions? It's a good example, I think, of what you can do. I don't know anything about JavaScript and Perl scripts and all that kind of stuff, so it's pretty much done on a shoestring with just basic HTML, but I think we have some really good content with it.
But if it is a scanned PDF, it could be an image inside PDF, right?
What was that?
Like, when you scan pages as PDF, could you convert it to text?
You could convert it to text, yeah. It does sort of do it a little bit with this thing of this little boxing. It does a bad job. The trouble with scanning, the OCRing is not that great, and so there's always a lot of errors in it. Let's see if it worked. Hey, it didn't work. What do you know? See if I can get up a here's the document. This is what they look like in PDF. You can see they take them right from the registrar's office with the stamps and everything all over them. There's little notes all over from the justices.
That's been OCR?
Yeah, we OCR. Or we don't, but the company that sends them to us does. And they can be converted if people wanted to look at them. We don't really have a good means of doing that, and the OCR does make mistakes. And there's so much because of the stamps and everything, it doesn't convert very well, which is why we really didn't do it. But people could take them and convert them if they wanted to themselves.
We've been having issues with people talking about ADA requirements because PDAs aren't readable by people.
Yeah. There's supposed to be something on the Adobe web page that will convert them into text for you. Like I said, they will have a lot of errors in them, but we get them in PDF because that's the format the company we get them from is doing them in. We had hoped that we could get them, get the briefs right from the firms, that they would have to file a Word document with their briefs, but the court didn't want to force them to do that, so there wasn't much we could do about that.
Not yet.
No.
Very good.
Okay, you said this didn't have to be law related.
No, not at all. Cool websites. I'm sure most law websites aren't. What's the best game website? Besides
We don't know that. We don't do that at once.
Okay. You want the virtual reality check? This is the reality check.
So you put in your date of birth.
You put in the day you were born, the month you were born,
Send you an email on the day you're done.
the year you were born, what sex you are, and this is kind of this next category. Whether you consider yourself a normal person, a pessimistic person, a sadistic person, or an optimistic person. And it tells you when you're going to die and gives you how many seconds you have to live. Okay? Little reality check.
What is the difference if you change the type of person?
Oh, let's see.
Probably it's the same.
All right, how bad is a sadistic person? What do you think would happen if you're sadistic? You should die sooner, right? Okay, let's.
We wish you wouldn't die sooner.
Yeah.
You're already dead.
All right. Okay, that means I don't have to do my program tomorrow afternoon. Sorry, John.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, let's see. Optimistic. You should live a long time.
Whoa.
All right, might as well do all of them, right?
25 years for your life that time.
Okay, so it's best if you're optimistic. Okay, I thought that was just a cool sight to share with you.
Well, I fall into the techie category. I'm from the University of Florida College of Law. Most of the techies in here probably know about PriceWatch, but I keep being surprised by other people who are involved in the purchasing process who don't know about it. So I thought I'd just show you that. Occasionally get something unusual that'll come up, and I like the search engine on here. Gyro mouse to do presentations with. I see this one's a Logitech mouse, but we use gyro mouse. And boom, there's 4 places you can find them. I find that a fairly difficult item to find. So far, we haven't been burned. We've gotten very good luck with things that we do. Besides www.pricewatch.com, there's another one I use occasionally, not quite as technically oriented. It's My Simon. Let's see what it shows for a gyro mouse. I don't think I've ever looked here for that one. Input devices. There you go.
So price shopping comparison.
Yes.
We have a quick run up there. Can't have more than 30 seconds, right? Well, think of another website. All right. This is one I use an awful lot, and I'm embarrassed to say. MrWakeUp.com. Is it there? Is it there? Is it there? Used to be a company called iPing. Come on. Is it coming up? Well, sorry? You have to wake it up. Yeah, really. In every city, you can dial 976-WAKE. You snooze, you lose. For $2, they'll call you at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning or something to remind you to wake up to make it to an airplane flight or something like that. Well, here's a website that will do it for free. I'm going to try this once more. Maybe they finally got out of business, huh? Or maybe the death clock is killing it. There we go.
Are they liable if the server is down?
Nope, not coming up. Save me some.
You don't need Despair.com.
Despair.com? Anyhow, it's a whole business model, which you can't see, obviously, because it's not going to come up, but it's a whole business model built around reminding you to like either take your medicines or make your appointments or things like that. Now, I tried to use it as a way to like wake up some of my friends at 6 o'clock in the morning, but it has pretty tight security. In other words, it won't let you call unless you register, and then it calls you 5 minutes later and confirms that you're actually there. So you have to be at your friend's house when they're not there in order for that to happen. You want to use it as a prank place. And hopefully they'll be closed pretty soon due to lawsuits. What? No, what come up? I'll show you.
I think you did something to it, John.
CA should come at that.
There's a go that's CA.
Yeah, there it is. This is for those of you who are looking for content, the California Courts website. Two things that I see a lot people are asking for. One is court rules for jurisdictions within California. And they've got not only the general ones, for the statewide ones, which you can probably get off of Westlaw and Lexis, but they also have for the individual state, the individual courts by jurisdiction. So the ones that have theirs, including some of the big ones like LA County and Alameda County and San Francisco County are on there. The other thing that they have is the judicial consult forms. And you can actually bring those up, and these are the ones, California is one of those states that loves exact forms. And if you have Adobe, the full Adobe program, you can actually fill them out and print them off, or you can print it off and type it up. The other one I was trying to find was newspaperslinks.com. It used to be NAA. Oh, I know what it is, newspaperlinks.org. It's a Newspaper Association of America. It has a site where any newspaper that's on the web, they have a link to it. And it's a great way to keep up with it. I think it's newspaperlinks.org. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so website is it master control or the one that monitors your servers and pages you?
Oh, SiteScope.
SiteScope.
Try one more thing. Yeah. Okay. This is their old site. It's newspaperlinks.com. It's a new one. You just click on the map. You can do international newspapers. You can do weeklies, dailies, whatever. If they found it, it's anywhere on there. What I like is this is my enjoyment for the day. I'll just go to the Minnesota newspapers for about 10, 15 minutes every day and find out what's going on there. Very good.
I'm Kim Wiseman, and I'm from the University of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia. And it used to be that we didn't have a way for students to get their POP3 email unless they were had their laptops with them and using whatever software that they were using to check their email with. So we found this little website called mailstart.com, which is cool because if it's a POP account, you can check your email anywhere from the world from this email address. And it used to be, it was a complete free service except that you couldn't get attachments. But now the students tell me that they can only get mail once a week through this service. So they're really trying to push you to purchase their service, and I think it's $6 a year or something, so it's pretty cheap. But Richmond this past year just put up it's a portal on our website, so anybody can get their email from that website now without going through this. But if you guys have trouble with that, our students go to Cambridge every year, or some of our students do, so they were using this in the cyber cafes and stuff to get their email.
Can they forward this department?
Can the speaker repeat
I don't know
the
that.
mic, please, address, because you can't hear it on the webcam, so we're back to check.
Sorry. www.mailstart.com.
Okay, this is www.square.com. Have you gone into your HR department and you see those little posters standing around? Well, this is a little different take. So let's say you have a little problem with defeat. So, for every winner, there are dozens of losers. Odds are you're one of them. Now, let's say you have a little trouble with, adversity. You can read this. And I think everybody's dealt with this at times now. Which does not kill me postpones the inevitable. And you can go to the site, and there's lots of them. You can actually mail these to friends. And you said you wanted to see a protected site, and I went and checked, and I can get on this if you're interested. We do the environmental group does a case studies program. Oh, I've just got lost on there. That's funny. Oh, not .com yet.
That's right.
Standardizedblog.com.
Bought it, just didn't use it. So let's go to programs, environmental resource, case studies. And that one came out really well. Case studies, I want to log in. Core courses, case studies, log in. So the subject index is here. You can go through these. We have air quality, California. Can you read this? Yeah, environmental. We have about 30 different case studies that the students run through. They can run through in the environmental program. We're adding another 20 this year, and we're also instituting a couple more programs for case studies online to work with students. And we're probably in the student responses should be on here somewhere. Feedback. Where's the student? Does anybody see student feedback there anywhere? I know it's on here somewhere. Simulation index. Anyway, if you go on here and you can't go on here, that's right. You look on here. The students have been very favorable to this. They like the ability to come online, do these exhibits. It incorporates with their classwork. They go and they do the case studies. They show up for work class, and they can do that.
So it's intranet only.
Yeah, it's one of the things we have.
Most of the websites, John, that most people can think are cool websites you can't show.
It's embarrassing to show them.
That's right.
It's okay, you're amongst family here, Cheryl.
Jenny Ringley's at work. Jenny Ringley's at work right now. Jenny Ringley's at work right now.
This is the News Hound. It's a news sifting service. It's not really law related, but one of the things that I'm really interested in is I follow the news in Ireland and Northern Ireland about what's going on over there. And this is a free, as I said, news sifting service that goes through all the major British, Irish, American, Australian, etc. papers and puts links to articles concerning Northern Ireland. www.nuzhound.com. Sort of a niche site, but something that for me is just what I was looking for.
There's a site called, have you ever heard of Sport Brain? You know what that is? Sport Brain is a device you wear on your hip. I have with it right now. And it monitors what you do physically throughout the day. And you can give your friends the site, and they can tell what you're doing. So if you're exercising or something like that, it also tells you how much you burned off.
Well, isn't that more depressing than helpful? I burned off 3 calories.
Well, to tell you the truth, I started doing this 9 months ago, and I lost 32 pounds.
Wow.
So.
Okay, that's Sport Brain?
Sport Brain, yeah. My wife saw it on Oprah, and she bought it for me. And I said, oh, this is great, something that monitors me. I'm not doing anything. I've got to go out and walk. And so that's what I started doing. I started walking. So I started walking a mile, and then 2 miles, and then 5 miles. And then
last 7 days you're in.
last 7 days I haven't had it on. I've been gone, but I can go back. If you go back, let's go to Sportfolio, and you can join. People can join you, and you can have a group of people, and you can buy a bucket of brains. And you can all have them. So we go monthly, and I injured myself here pretty much, which seemed to be a process that I did a lot. I'm not really the kind of person that goes out and does a lot of exercise. So this was a big deal for me. But I'm over 1 million some steps right now. 1,141,843.
Is it like a weird one on your wrist or something?
Right on your hip, and then you can wear a heart rate monitor. It'll track your heart rate. It'll publish it on the web for you. I'm actually got this company in touch with another company called Asimba, which monitors your caloric intake. It sort of does your builds a sport program for you. And then I had a presentation with a nonprofit medical group, and I said, they have a lot of in-care elderly that they need to do certain activities, and they have to go around and monitor them. And I said if they wore one of these, they could monitor them remotely. So they're thinking of incorporating these into an elderly management program.
How much does it cost?
$80.
And does it use wireless to talk to?
It has a little click-in device, but it's very simple to use. When you just take it off, and there's no continuing fee. It's $80 one time.
Wow.
Is there a reason that they use bananas first? Is it
bananas, hamburgers? Well, it's kind of, you can relate to it.
When you die, you can email the death clock.
Right, exactly.
Well, I'm a technology person, so I'll show you a very useful resource for anybody that has Windows NT in their environment. ntfaq.com. And I'm sure a lot of, wait a second, help if I type it correctly.
Windows 2000
And you can search for all sorts of things. Let's just search for Netflix. I'm sorry, second?
Blue screen of that.
One thing I wanted to show you that was really one nice thing, well, this one's not very descriptive, but one nice thing about this is it has a lot of information about command line utilities. You can do anything through the command line that you can do in the graphical user interface through Windows, and the documentation in Windows is severely lacking for the command line. So this is a lot better. Like, how can you grant user rights from the command line? It gives you specific instructions how to do everything. And then for just my personal interests, I'll show you this one here. Motorcycle.com. I ride motorcycles. I check this out very frequently because there's lots of very interesting articles about motorcycles. So.
Hello, my name is Jim Kent. I got 2 quick sites for you. First one is to more NT stuff, jsiinc.com. If you're doing NT 2000, I can read or spell. There we go, jsi.com. The neat part is they have a big registry hack information, where they have lots of registry tweaks. As you know, that's how you can actually get stuff done. And they have thousands of them. You can search on it, find interesting things, especially for setting default values and whatnot. So that's a cool site to research. Another one, I don't know if anybody's...
What was the website?
jsiinc.com. Another interesting site is one called brainbench.com. This particular site is a third-party site that creates tests of all types, and people can go there and test their knowledge, sort of like taking an MCSE test, but not paying $100 on Microsoft to go do it, but have a brain bench certificate. Companies use this to test employees, potential employees for positions. They sit you down, make you take this test, and they see how you did against real tests, or real questions.
It's still free to get the paper stuff?
People can sit down and take free exams. I think they charge like corporations and entities to take exams and grade them for potential employees or whatnot. 2 sites for me.
Cool. Well, we only done 20. We got 40 more to go. In the next 2 minutes.
Nobody's been paying attention to the ADA came out with the requirement now for certain government sites to be ADA compliant, and there's a website out there that'll test that for you called Bobby.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, just CAS.
Yes, yeah. What is it? Let's say URL.
Or it's www.cas.org/Bobby. So you put your URL in. Let's put one in. Give me one.
www.CALI.org. Pretty sure we're there. We're working at it.
So it must be generated. There's the report. Well, you have a couple problems.
Yeah, it doesn't like that we don't have alt tags for our images.
Right. You need to do that images tagged. You need all that stuff done. And then it doesn't really monitor it now, but the PDAs haven't been getting a big knock, but they are going to. Not PDAs.
PDFs.
PDF files, yeah. They're doing that. Anyway, so if you just want to check your website, you can go ahead and go here and check it out. I did, and we're going through some of the changes and exactly the same thing you talked about the graphics.
In fact, I've been seeing that in articles lately, people saying we are Bobby compliant, as though, and using it as sort of a defense against people who complain that they're not ADA compliant on their websites. But a lot of people use this.
How about www.2600.com?
No. Right. Well, that's one. Or somebody else wants to grab this. I think I can find this one. GRC. Is it GRC? Yeah, GRC. You guys know about Shields Up? Don't know about Shields Up? All right. If you have a personal firewall on your home computer and you want to test whether it's any good, you can go to this website and it's called www.grc.com, Gibson Research. He's got a bunch of articles here about denial of service attacks. People have been trying to take them down. But he has this Shields Up thing where his website will attack your computer, and then it will report back whether it was able to get in, which ports were exposed or things like that. And I've tried it with Zone Alarm on at various settings, with Black Ice at various settings, with both of them turned off just to see what would happen. And it was very revealing about how Swiss cheesy various firewalls are. He doesn't like Zone Alarm that much. He's not too happy with Black Ice. I think the one he likes. What does he like the most? It's either, I think it was Norton, just because when he tested Norton himself and complained, Norton changed their thing right away. So he's very positive for personal firewall software that actually responds to him. Anyhow, it's called grc.com, and the service is called Shields Up, which is kind of a cool name. I don't know if you remember Gibson Research, but they had the product SpinRite back in the 80s. Used to resurrect old hard drives. Yeah, I used to love that. All right. Anybody else? Time for one more. One more, all right. While she's coming down, let me explain what happened. Greta Dawson was supposed to be doing the session on Novell here. She got a really bad ear infection 2 days ago. And I said, so? And, where's your priorities, girl? And so she said, no, she went to the doctor, and he said, you cannot fly. Your head would explode. So I sort of just came up with this 60 websites idea at the very last minute. So it's not her fault that she's not here.
I'm from Boston University School of Law, and I'm going to show you the prettiest website in the world. You probably guess why I'm saying that. Okay, for those of you who know who David CALI is, he spoke at our law school commencement. He's the writer-producer of Ally McBeal and The Practice and all of those shows.
Boston Public.
And the Boston Public, yes. What I'm going to show you is the actual Boston University site. And for those of you who will be here this weekend, especially, there is a visitor's site, and you can tour. They have a Boston site where you can go. It has a guide to tours, media, hotels, dining, and arts and entertainment. So it's a very good website to visit for you guys. So, and it's pretty too. Very pretty.
Perfect.
Great time.